Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna,
Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodhanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodhanandana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Shila Prabhupada ki jai. This Canto 4, Chapter 29, text number 68, talks between Narada and King Prachini. So we'll recite this verse. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. 4:29:68. Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bhusho yanti sarve samanaso janaha. Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bhusho yanti sarve samanaso janaha. Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bhusho yanti sarve samanaso janaha. Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bhusho yanti sarve samanaso janaha. Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bhusho yanti sarve samanaso janaha. Sarve kramanurodhena manasindriya gocharaha ayanti bhusho yanti sarve samanaso janaha. Sarve, all. Krama anurodhena, in order of chronology. Manasi, in the mind. Indriya, by the senses. Gocharaha, experienced. Ayanti, come. Bahushaha, in many ways. Yanti, go away. Sarve, all. Samanasaha, with a mind. Janaha, living entities. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The mind of the living entity continues to exist in various gross bodies. And according to one's desires for sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combinations. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or never heard before. Purport. The activities of the living entity in the body of a dog may be experienced in the mind of a different body. Therefore, those activities appear never to have been heard or seen. The mind continues, although the body changes. Even in this lifespan, we can sometimes experience dreams of our childhood. Although such incidents now appear strange, it is to be understood that they are recorded in the mind. Because of this, they become visible in dreams. The transmigration of the soul is caused by the subtle body, which is the storehouse of all kinds of material desires. Unless one is fully absorbed in Krishna consciousness, material desires will come and go. That is the nature of the mind, thinking, feeling, and willing. As long as the mind is not engaged in meditation on the lotus feet of the Supreme Person of Godhead Krishna, the mind will desire so many material enjoyments. Sensual images are recorded in the mind in chronological order, and they become manifest one after another. Therefore, the living entity has to accept one body after another. The mind plans material enjoyment, and the gross body serves as the instrument to realize such desires and plans. The mind is the platform onto which all desires come and go. Srila Narottam Das Thakur therefore sings, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitate Koriya Kya Arana Kariha Mane Asha. Narottam Das Thakur advises everyone to stick to the principle of carrying out the orders of the spiritual master. One should not desire anything else. If the regulative principles ordered by the spiritual master are followed rigidly, the mind will gradually be trained to desire nothing but the service of Krishna. Such training is the perfection of life. ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजन रघुनाथान्वितं तं श्रीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादा सहगण ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिनि नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणि निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणि नमो महावदन्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्यनामने गौरत्से नमः। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्त राधा कान्त नमोस्तुते तप्त काञ्चन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्रपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुदीनतारणं परमात्मानं श्रीचैतन्यमीश्वरम्। Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees to the Srimad Bhagavatam class. So those who are in temple as well as on Zoom. So I hope devotees on Zoom are able to hear clearly. So we are discussing from this chapter entitled Talks between Narada and King Prachini Parishad. So this is a very interesting and long conversation which comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. The story of Puranjana and King Prachini Parishad. Prachini Parishad is a king who is attached to pious enjoyment, not sinful enjoyment, pious enjoyment he is doing. He is religious, and he was attracted to doing a lot of yajnas and sacrifices. So Narada Muni feels compassion on him that why is he wasting his time doing pious activities? He should be doing activities of devotional service. So Narada Muni comes and tries to preach to him indirectly by telling an allegory of Puranjana, which we already discussed in the Nityam Bhagavata Seva class. And Puranjana, after ending the story of Puranjana, Prachini Parishad realizes that it is my story. It is not Puranjana's story, the king Puranjana. It's actually I am the Puranjana. Right? I am the resident of this body, Pura. Pura means city, city of nine gates. So this body, human body, is a city of nine gates. And I'm residing in this. And it is not the story of mine, it is the story of every living entity, Puranjana. So how he is trying to enjoy sense gratification, but by the mercy of spiritual master, Puranjana was delivered in the body. He became she, Vaidarvi, and then in that life, Paramatma came in the form of Brahmana and delivered uh, Puranjana. And then later on, after hearing the story, Prachin understands actually this is my story. I also have to get liberated. So Narada, please explain in detail, right, about these concepts. So Narada Muni is explaining in detail the concept of soul, transmigration, the gross body, subtle body, reincarnation. All those concepts are being explained here. So in Bhagavad Gita, we learn these concepts of soul and reincarnation. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, some sections of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is further elaborated with examples and stories. In fourth canto, this section talks a lot about mind and gross body, subtle body, and how the soul is carried to the next body, right? And even in the story of Jada Bharata also, we could understand how the soul transmigrates from one body to another. So with stories, analogies, examples, it is further explained here. And in this series of verses, the nature of the mind is thoroughly explained. How the mind carries the vasanas, so the impressions from the previous lives, right? So that is being explained in this series of verses. And today we're discussing one of that series of verses. So just before this verse, Narada Muni said that by seeing the activities of the gross senses, one can know the state of the mind. So that's what Narada Muni had told. How to know what is going on in somebody's mind? See his activities. When you see his activities, you will know what is happening in his mind. Right? Sri Prabhupada says that if somebody is angry, if somebody's mind is having the emotion of anger, his symptoms can be seen in his face. The eyes will be angry, and the lips will be curled, and ears will become red, because that is a symptom of anger. So when anger is there in the mind, it becomes manifest. Srila Prabhupada also said that face is the index of the mind in one of the previous purports. So the index of the mind is the face. Just like the index of the computer is the screen. Whatever is happening in the computer, you can see it on the screen. Similarly, mind, our face is like the screen on which one can see what is happening inside the mind. One cannot hide it. If somebody is angry, it will show off. If somebody is lusty, it will show off. His eyes will start turning towards the billboards. His eyes will start looking at people walking on the streets, because that is there in the mind. That attraction is there. And if somebody is attached to sense gratification, if the mind has got the desire for sense gratification, the senses will act based on that. Like for example, somebody has a desire to eat, then you will see that the tongue will carry him long, long distance and make him eat something. Right? There are some students who travel 10 kilometers, 20 kilometers sometimes to eat some vada pav chat items, because they want that particular taste, and the tongue carries them long distance and eats it. So the activities of the senses indicate the nature of the mind, the state of the mind, or the desires in the mind. It's just like um there is microprocessor which has got hard-coded programs in it, and there are motors connected to that. Based on the program, whatever is written, the motors or the devices connected to the processor work. In case virus enters that program, that processor, then what happens? You press the right button, instead of going right, it will go left, because it acts strangely. So because of the virus in the mind. Similarly, our mind is supposed to be clean and pure. Mind is a product of Satuguna. It is supposed to be clean, pure. That's called uh, Mahatattva. From Mahatattva, when it transforms into in the mode of goodness, it becomes the mind. And as Mahatattva transforms in the mode of passion, it becomes intelligence. And when it transforms in the mode of ignorance, it becomes senses and sense objects. So the mind is supposed to be in the mode of goodness, it is supposed to be pure. But because of further interaction with the modes of nature, when it accumulates material desires, it becomes impure. And the impure mind pushes the senses to act impurely. A pure mind pushes the senses to act purely. Krishna says this in Bhagavad Gita. Uddharet atman atmanam natmanam avasadet. Try to elevate the soul with the help of pure mind. Na atmanam avasadet. Do not degrade the mind. Atmaiva hi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanaha. It says the mind can be friend of the soul. So at the same time, mind can also be the enemy. Ripu. Atmaiva ripuratmanaha. So when the mind is a friend and when it is an enemy, yeah, when mind is controlled, purified. Bandhuratmatmanastasya enatmaivatmana jitah anatmanastu shatrutve vartet atmaiva shatruvat. Sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna talks about this. Bandhuratmatmanaha, one has controlled his mind, such a mind is his enemy. Anatmanaha, one has not controlled his mind, shatrutve vartate. The mind will act like a shatru. Vartet atmaiva shatruvat. So the pure mind is our friend, but the impure mind is our enemy. And in the conditioned stage, the mind is contaminated. It is impure. Impurities are mainly lust, anger, greed, envy, pride, and illusions. These are all impurities in the mind, which are like the viruses. Right? In the computer, when the virus enters, it hangs. Similarly, when the virus enters the mind, we act strangely. Even all material desires are like the viruses of the mind. In fact, Srila Rupa Goswami compares these material desires to Pishachi. Bhukti, Mukti, Spruha, Pishachi Yavat Vartate. He, he compares like this. A ghost. When a person is haunted by a ghost, he acts abnormal, isn't it? He speaks in abnormal way, he behaves in abnormal way, he does abnormal activities because he is haunted by somebody. So somebody else is controlling him. He's not able to behave who is he. Similarly, we spirit souls, we are all servants of Krishna. But when we get haunted by the desires of bhukti, mukti, spurha, the desires for bhukti and mukti, we act abnormally. We go out of control. Instead of serving Krishna, one starts serving the senses. Abnormal, right? Right. So uh, he runs behind money, he runs behind woman, dhanam, janam, sundaram. He runs behind name, fame, popularity. He wants to go to heaven. He wants to become crorepati. He wants to like this. All these desires are there, or he ultimately he wants to become God. A person is really abnormal, crazy. He wants to become God. That's the ultimate snare of Maya. Prabhupada says. The last weapon of Maya is she makes us believe I am God. So bhakti mukti spruha. So these desires for material enjoyment and liberation, they are compared to ghost pishachis. So it makes us act abnormally. And when we become freed from these material desires, we act normally. So what is the normal condition of life? Jivara Surupaya Krishnera Nityadas. That is the normal condition of life. So we have to come to the normal condition of life, and to come to that stage, we have to purify the mind. So we have to control the mind, and to control the mind is the most difficult thing. Right? And Krishna says in Arjuna says in Bhagavad Gita that Krishna, I can control anything in this world. I can even control the hurricane. He says, I can control the hurricanes. Katrina, Rita, I can control them. But I cannot control my raging mind, he says. The mind is more powerful than the wind also. So that's the power of the mind. So Arjuna himself is telling, 5,000 years back, he is telling this. Now, what to speak of Kali Yuga jivas like us? So that's why mind, people's mind in Kali Yuga is really uncontrolled, right? Even devotee's mind goes crazy because of material desires at occasions. Because we are so much in this world is this age itself is mode of passion and ignorance. Although devotees are trying to come to the mode of goodness, was trying to get up in the morning, chant Hare Krishna, read Bhagavatam, but still the material desires don't go so easily and they keep haunting, right? So even devotees have sadhakas, I'm telling you, sadhakas may face difficulties because of this uncontrolled mind. So the nature, why my mind becomes uncontrolled because of past, right? The past habits which one has cultivated. And there's a beautiful verse here, verse number 66. Mana eva manushasya pura rupani shamsati bhavishatascha badhram te tathaiva na bhavishyatah. Mind is the cause of material bodies. O king, good fortune unto you. The mind is the cause of living entity certain type of body in accordance with its association with material nature. Right? Purusha prakritisto hi bhungte prakriti jan gunan karanam gunasangase sad asad yoni janvasu. At the mind, the association of the modes is the cause of our bodies. Same thing is told here. Mana eva manushasya pura rupani shamsati. Pura rupani. So according to the association with the modes in the past, pura rupani shamsati. Bhavishyatah cha badhramte. Tathaiva na bhavishyatah. According to one's mental composition, one can understand what the living entity was in his past life, as well as what kind of body he will have in the future. Thus, the mind indicates the past and future bodies. Hare Krishna. So it's very easy to predict your past. Some people ask, Swamiji, please tell me what I was in the previous life. Right? Yeah, so not so difficult in one sense because just see your mind as a screen and you see what all images are coming in the screen of the mind, what all desires are coming in the screen of the mind. So that's what we were in the past. Past means, suppose my age is 30s, whatever, 30 plus. So the last 30 years, what I was, I can see in the screen. Before that also, what I was, I can see in the screen. So whatever material desires are there, that's what I had done. I was in the past, isn't it? Right. So some people have, by birth, they have some desires like they want to swim or surf in the water. It means what? You can guess. No? Some people have the desires to eat flesh. Means what? They might have been in carnivorous body in the past life, or they might have acquired that habit by association. Also, both are possible. Right? If somebody is eating meat now, means in the past he got associated with meat eaters and he cultivated that habit, or in the past life he was having the habit of eating meat. That's why that habit is continuing. Nothing happens by chance. It is by past association or habits that is happening. So, and now he is cultivating certain desires, means you can guess what he will become in the next life. Based on the desires in the mind now, you can predict what he'll become in the next life. So, in case somebody had bad association in the past and he was doing bad activities, and he gets good association in between, and he starts chanting Hare Krishna, attending satsang programs, and becomes pure. So his desires are changing. Then you can easily predict next life he'll go back to God. Right? His mind is becoming purified and spiritual desires are getting cultivated. Means what? He'll either in next life he'll become a devotee or he'll go back to God. Purvabhyasena tenaiva hriyate avashopi saha. What's the next line? Jignasurapi. Uh, so it's sixth chapter of Gita. It says that Purabhyasena tenaiva hriyate avashopi saha. Purabhyasena, by his past spiritual practice, by birth a devotee gets attracted to Krishna conscious activities. He'll not like to do anything else. He'll just want to do Krishna conscious activities. Hriyate avashopi, helplessly he'll be attracted. Helplessly. Just like conditioned soul gets helplessly attracted to sense gratification. When he gets free time, he does sense gratification. So similarly, a yogi who was a yogi in the past life, he'll helplessly get attracted to Krishna consciousness. Right? Instead of going to theaters, he will come to temple. Instead of singing mundane music, he will sing kirtan. Even children, we can see our Krishna conscious community children. Some they are naturally attracted to chanting shlokas, naturally attracted to playing instruments, naturally attracted to Jagannath. Right? Why? Pure Bhyasin. Right? Shabda Brahmati Vartade. And it is said that he becomes transcendent to the uh, section of the Vedas which talks about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. He becomes transcendental. Shabda Brahmati Vartade. He becomes transcendental to all the rules and regulations also because he gets naturally attracted to Krishna. A person who is naturally attracted to Krishna is beyond any rules and regulations. He doesn't have to follow the rules and regulations. Right. So to that stage he comes because of past habit. So here in today's verse it is said that in the previous verse it is said sometimes in a dream we see something never experienced or heard of in this life. It has happened to you sometimes. You see something which you are not experienced in the present life. In case if that happens, please understand that it is because of past life, previous life. But all these incidents have been experienced at different times, in different places, and in different conditions. Sarve kramanurodhena. So all these experiences which have done in the past, kramanushaha means gradually they will be revealed in the mind. Kramanurodhena manasa indriya gocharaha. So they will be manifest in the mind and in the senses. The mind of the living entity continues to exist in various gross bodies, and according to one's desires for sense gratification, the mind records different thoughts. In the mind, these appear together in different combinations. Therefore, these images sometimes appear as things never seen or heard before. So they come and then go. Right? Sometimes you see golden aeroplane in the dream. You have seen aeroplane and you have seen gold. Mind, what does it combines? And it makes you feel as if you're flying in a golden aeroplane. So like that, mind does its permutations and combinations and uh, provides some thoughts in the mind in the dream. So some things which we have not experienced in the current life, we see in the dream. It means it has happened in the past life. Or Prabhupada says it might have happened in the childhood. So, and if the such things happen repeatedly, it becomes a permanent impression in the mind, and that's called as samskaras. Anything which you do repeatedly becomes a samskara. And those samskaras don't go so easily. So that's why certain habits are very, very difficult to change. Despite struggling and trying to overcome, very difficult to overcome because it has become a set pattern because of past habit. So, and helplessly a person indulges in such habits. It may be good bad habit or bad habit. There can be good samskaras or bad samskaras. So we have to, if there is a bad samskara in our mind because of many lifetimes of conditioning, then one has to seriously endeavor to overcome that bad samskara by creating new samskaras. So, by following the rules and regulations of Krishna consciousness, what is happening is we are creating new samskaras. A simple example, if somebody has got a bad samskara of getting up late in the morning, and it's very difficult, it's a great struggle for him to get up early. And he has been getting up late since past 10 years, 20 years. So what he has to do? He has to endeavor, प्रयत्न करना चाहिए. By endeavoring over a period of time, he can change this his bad samskara and make it a good samskara. He can start getting up in Brahma Muhurta. It may be a little struggle for his body and the mind, but over a period of time, he'll be able to do it. He can be successful. That's possible. But you have to do it repeatedly, consistently over a long period of time. Then it is possible. So in short time, it is not possible. Some people try for 1 month and give it up. Nahi hoga mere se. So such people can't get success. Yeah. So some people give hope. They give up the struggle only. Mere se nahi hoga. It's impossible, they say. But nothing is impossible. It is possible to overcome this samskaras by good association. If one is not able to do it alone, by being in the company of devotees, he can do it. Surely it is possible. That's why it is recommended sadhu sangha. First thing is association. Even if one has very severe disease, if he gets admitted to hospital, then slowly, gradually, it can become cured. Similarly, ISKCON centers are like spiritual hospitals. For those who are suffering from material infection, whatever, however severe it may be, if one gets admitted in the association of devotees and takes the medicine. So what is the medicine? Hare Krishna mantra, hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, taking prasadam. So in the association of devotees, if he takes this medicine gradually over a period of time, the infection, the rate of infection reduces. It may not stop immediately, but the rate of infection, the material desires reduce. And sometimes they may trouble, but the trouble is not so severe. It reduces and gradually it becomes zero. नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके bhaktir naistiki. Right? So it is said that gradually, nashtaprayeshu, Prayeshu means almost gone. It doesn't say completely gone. Almost gone. Something is remaining. Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu. Abhadra means all the anarthas. They go away. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, by continuous hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. So that's why we call this series as Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya series. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtika. Then one comes to the stage of Nishta. Till the time one is in Anartha Nivritti stage, his bhakti is unsteady. And after he crosses this Anartha Nivritti and comes to the stage of Nishta, then it is steady practice of bhakti. So at that stage, he cannot be destroyed by material desires. He has crossed anarthas. So that's why he becomes steady in his practice. He will not get allured by material uh, temptations. He knows how to be steady in bhakti. So sarve kramanurodhena manas hindre gochara. So the desires in the mind are manifest gradually in the senses. So by practice of bhakti, one can remove all those material desires. Suppose there is a pond. The pond on the surface, it appears to be clear, but you will see some bubbles coming sometimes. What does a bubble indicate? Huh? Something fermenting at the bottom. At the bottom of the lake, pond, something is there, impurities are there, which is fermenting, and then the bubbles are coming. Right? Similarly, on the surface, our mind sometimes appears, I'm free from all anarthas. It happens. Sometimes devotees get a feeling that I become pure devotee now. I have no material desires now. At that time, suddenly Krishna will put something. I thought I'm pure devotee. From where has this come? And we again become humble. Oh Krishna, I'm so fallen, so miserable. When that pride comes, Krishna puts the material desire and humbles us. So material desires are there. Krishna is not putting it is there, but Krishna shows it. You think you are a pure devotee, and see this. What is there in your mind? So on the surface, mind appears to be clean, but actually inside there is anarthas. So when you put a stick and you stir, you will see. So, Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Sudramaya ki, Shri Shri Gaurnita ki, Shri Lakshmi Nrsimhadev ki, Shri Prabhupada ki. So that stirring is compared to chanting. When you keep chanting Hare Krishna, what happens? The mind gets stirred. Dirt comes up, it shows on the surface. Sometimes devotees, especially those who start chanting newly, they become more disturbed after chanting. Which is chanting se pehle acha tha. I was good before, but I'm start chanting and I become very disturbed. I'm able to see lust in my mind. Right? Previously, I used to see girls, but I didn't feel anything. But now I'm feeling more. How it is happening? Actually, it was there, but we failed to pursue it. Right? The disturbance was there, but we are so disturbed that we are not able to observe the disturbance also. Right? But now we are at least able to observe that, oh, this is there in my mind. I'm able to pursue these anarthas in the mind. Actually, we are advancing. So we should not get disturbed. We should continue stirring. And whatever dirt is coming, we should throw it away. We should keep cleaning it. And over a period of time, mind becomes fully clean. And then no more anarthas can be seen. So one should not give up chanting Hare Krishna. One should continue chanting. And then over a period of time, mind becomes pure. And then we can experience real peace, real satisfaction at that time. So what is the solution? We are in this material world since millions of years. We have acquired so many anarthas. Now, what is the solution? How to purify the mind? So one thing is sadhana, but another thing Prabhupada says in this purport is, he says, he says that you engage in the service of the spiritual master. Then it is possible to overcome. Correct? Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriya Aikya Arana Koriho Mani Asha. So whatever instructions are coming from the lips of the spiritual master, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya, take it and try to follow that instruction, try to fulfill the desire of the spiritual master. So then you can become completely freed from all material desires. So Narottam Das Thakur advises everyone to stick to this principle of carrying out the order of spiritual master. One should not desire anything else. If the regulative principles ordered by the spiritual master followed rigidly, the mind will gradually be trained to desire nothing but the service of Krishna. Such training is the perfection of life. So you have to get trained under the direction of spiritual masters, and that's what we are trying to do, right? Either those who are staying in temple or at home, wherever we may be, but we should make our spiritual masters' words as a guiding principle in our life, right? And spiritual master speaks, Prabhupada speaks through his books, and spiritual masters' words are available in his lectures. And sometimes spiritual master may give direct instruction: you do this service, you do this. So he may give such instructions. We should make that as a life and soul. Then our mind and senses can be controlled. In one of the purports, I don't remember where, Prabhupada says that sense control is possible by obeying the orders of the spiritual master. Right? So serving the spiritual master is the easy way to control our senses, he says. So our senses are there, they are uncontrolled, mind is also uncontrolled. But let's engage our mind and senses in the service of the spiritual master, and by his grace, one can become purified. And in the next life, one can go back home, back to Godhead. So these are some thoughts regarding today's verse. If somebody has any comments or questions, you can take. Somebody does want to share something, Gaurchand Guru. Do you have mic? Yes, you have.
For the benefit of the online audience, the question is that mind is born of goodness, intelligence is born out of passion. How that Acharya say that you should control your mind using intelligence because passion is
Yeah.
lower than mind.
So the question is that the senses are in mode of ignorance, mind is in mode of goodness, and then intelligence is born of mode of passion. Okay. So how is it that we should control the mind with intelligence? Indriyani paranyahur indriyebhya param manah manasastu para buddhir yo buddhe paratastu saha. If you read third chapter of Gita, Arjuna had asked a question that Krishna, I'm helplessly doing sinful activities. Atha kena prayuktoyam papam charati purusha. Unwillingly, I'm doing sinful activities. So then, why is it so? I don't want to do, but still I helplessly do it. Why? Krishna says it is because of kama. Kamesha, Krodesha, Rajaguna, Samudbhava, Mahashana, Mahapatma, Vidhenam, Ihavairinam. So this kama is the enemy, and this kama is born of Rajaguna. When we come in, when you get infected by Rajaguna, lust increases in the heart. And where does lust say? Lust stay? Yeah, the senses, the mind, and the intelligence. It stays. That's right. They are the sitting places of the lust. Yeah, I'm looking for that verse. So, sitting places of the lust are yeah, here it says. Avratam jnanam etena jnanino nitya vairana. This lust is the enemy of the spiritualist. Jnanino nitya vairana. And the spiritualist always should try to keep the senses and the mind away from this lust. Kama rupena kaunteya dushpurena nalena cha indriyani manobuddhir asya adhisthana muchyate. इसका घर कहाँ है? इंद्रियाणि मनो बुद्धि एतेर विमोहत्येषा ज्ञानम आवृत्य देहिनाम. So by covering us, the lust covers us and keeps us in ignorance, illusion. Tasmat tvam indriyanyado niyamya bhartarshava papmanam prajahiyenam jnana vijnana nasham. He says, try to control the lust starting with the senses by keeping the senses away from sense objects. That's the first thing he says. So that's why the association puts a Lakshman Rekha. So we don't get sense objects here. So we should keep away from sense objects. If you stay with materialists, a lot of sense objects available there. But if you stay in the association, we have spiritual sense objects. So senses get purified here. So Krishna says that first. Then he says, Indriyani Paranyahu, higher than the senses is the mind, higher than the senses is the intelligence, higher than intelligence is the soul. Okay. Yo buddhe parasastu saha. Then he says, Evam buddhe param buddha samstabhyatmanam atmana jahi shatru mahabhava. Thus, knowing oneself to be transcendental to material senses, mind, intelligence, O mighty and Arjuna, one should study the mind by deliberate spiritual intelligence. It is not material intelligence, it is spiritual intelligence. And thus, by spiritual strength, conquer this insatiable enemy known as lust. So, first of all, before controlling the mind, the intelligence has to be spiritualized. Intelligence should know what is right and what is wrong. If intelligence is also weak, it cannot control the mind. So we should borrow the intelligence from Guru and Krishna. And that intelligence will guide us. And that should guide the mind by telling, hey, don't do this. Guru has told me, don't do this. Do this service now. So that spiritual intelligence should guide the mind, and then the mind guides the senses. So it is not material intelligence, but spiritual intelligence. So I hope that clarifies. So that's why to get spiritual intelligence, we should regularly read Prabhupada books and regularly hear from gurus. Then our spiritual intelligence can remain sharp. Otherwise, spiritual intelligence can also become dull. And when the spiritual intelligence becomes dull, then the mind takes over. Hare Krishna. Any comments online?
Mind and heart should be cleaned. So
It is same, their word used interchangeably. The question is, what is the difference between mind and heart? So actually, it is one, everything is one only. So I heard from Sri Radhesham Guru that it's called Chitta. Chitta is one. One portion of Chitta is mind, one portion of Chitta is intelligence, another portion is ego. That it in one together it's called as heart. It's sometimes called as heart, Hridaya. So the Chitta is called as heart, the consciousness. It's not the physical heart. Right? So the mind, intelligence, ego is together called as Chitta. So Chitta has to be purified. Means what? The mind, intelligence, ahankara, everything should be purified. Not just the mind, but all these things has to be purified. That's together called as Chitta. It's one only. You read this third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll get more clarity in that. Third canto explains the nature of the mind, the nature of, and then more specifically, nature of the mind, nature of intelligence, and the nature of ahankar. Is explained clearly in third canto, Srimad Bhagavatam, Devoti Kardama section.
Both are same, then I think one song is there, Tomara Rudaya Sada Govinda Vishram. So in that connection, he would have told in mind also, like Tomara Manas Govinda.
Yeah, we can use both also. Mama Mana Mandire. Another song, he uses the word Mana. Oh Lord, stay in the mind, temple of my mind. Mama Mana Mandire, Raha Nishidin, Krishna Murari. And sometimes they say Hrudaya. So that's word used interchangeably. That's one only. Hare Krishna. Any comments from Zoom? No comments. Okay. So then we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srimad Bhagavat Mahapuran ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna to all the devotees, Dandas Pranam. So that was a wonderful class that we heard from Prabhu. And now we're having the darshan of the deities. So Jagannath, Baldev, Sudaramai, Sudarshan ki jai, Singhadev Bhavan ki jai.
We can't see Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji.
We can't see the deities.
We were able to see.
No, we can see only your this picture of your DP picture, Prabhu.
No, it's there. You have to just select that. When I'm speaking, then that screen is coming on. But you will be able to see. In the gallery, you will see, and then you can highlight it from there.
No,
Prabhu.
we are not able to see, Prabhu.
Your profile picture is there. No deities there.
You're able to see. It's there in the gallery, Mataji. The ISB co-host, that particular.
Prabhu, but we are not able to see. Nobody is able to see.
We can see, Prabhuji. We can see. Yes.
You
It's
can
in the
see.
gallery. Yeah.
Prabhuji, you have to put it on spotlight.
Yeah.
Yes, please, please spotlight.
Okay, so I hope all of you are able to see. In case somebody is not able to see, that's a motivation to come to the temple today. So, Hare Krishna. So, thank you so much. We can end the session here. I was just waiting for them to show Srila Prabhupada, but I think.
Actually, in there, this thing we can see that window now it is moving, Prabhu. I think you
Yeah,
should.
now it is
Now
moving.
you can
There
see.
we can see.
First it was
There.
still. So we thought your profile picture. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Prabhupada heard us. So
Yes,
there
yes.
is the
Yeah,
darshan
yeah.
of
Now we
Prabhupada.
can
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
So we can end the session. Thank you so much, devotees, for joining. Offering obeisances to all the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatrubhyasya kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hare Krishna. I'll end the session now. Thank you.